County regular meeting for Tuesday, February 27th is now called to order. Andrea, would you please call the roll?
Good evening, everyone. It is now 5:01 p.m. As a reminder to all in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Gallagher.
Here.
Mr. Schron. Mr. Schron is absent. Ms. Conwell.
Here.
Ms. Turner.
Here.
Ms. Stevens.
Present.
Ms. Simon. Mr. Kelly.
Here.
Mr. Miller.
Here.
Mr. Sweeney.
Here.
Mr. Byrne.
Here.
Council President Jones.
Here.
You have a quorum.
Thank you. At this time, let's stand for our Pledge of Allegiance.
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Andrea, is anyone signed in for public comment?
Yes. John T. Majoy, Chief of Police, Village of Newburgh Heights.
Nothing like going first, right?
Yes,
Get it out of the way. Members of council, Chief John Majoy, Newburgh Heights Police Department. I was told I have to be brief, and so I will be. I just want to speak in favor of the ARPA grant that the village has applied for. It's twofold. First is for police and fire, and so we're hoping to add additional police officer, additional firefighter, which will be very helpful to the residents of Village of Newburgh Heights, and also mutual aid with other departments as well. We also have the home maintenance grant, which is a very nice program for residents where they can apply for monies through the village and fix up their homes and at a reduced cost than what they would normally do. And it's really kind of helped the homes and the appearances of the homes within the village. So most importantly, I represent public safety, police, and fire. Mr. Jones, I want to thank you personally for helping support us with this grant, and I just want to speak in favor of that, and I would ask council for their consideration. I realize it's only on second reading, but all the same, if it's important for me to come back next time, I will certainly do that. But thank you for your time and consideration. We hope that you will vote in favor of that. Thank you, members of council.
Lou?
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
In the past few weeks, I have been sending documents. I think Mr. Byrne has got some readings to catch up, so you will understand better what I have been talking about. But today, I did not send in any documents for that because I'm changing the gear to talk about the programming part of it. Last Friday, Mayor of Cleveland actually started an initiative. Of course, our county Office of Homeless Services also will be joining to make the effort together. However, if you guys have seen that particular piece of news, you will see me actually on TV or on your computer screen, either way. My issue here is, it's good, finally we can have some money, try to help out the unsheltered population. But programming-wise, it's probably not exactly tight for the situation. The housing, according to this particular initiative, it will come up within 18 months. So that means these 150 people, no matter who they are, first of all, we have way more than this 150 people being unsheltered, sleeping on the street, not even in the car. With or without blanket, in the severe weather. Doesn't matter, severe thunderstorm or snowstorm. Then, where would be a good place for them to keep their health, keep their life during this 18 months? It seems like there's no mentioning of that. And city also promised that they will have a meeting to have homeless people to be on the table to discuss. This has never happened yet. So I do not know how this will actually work out. Because in 18 months, lots of people may encounter all kinds of crises, and we don't know what will happen to them. Now, let's talk about the other aspect. The people are in the shelters. Currently, I'm in trouble again, well, because all kinds of a situation happened in the past. This part, Mr. Byrne has not been prepared. Sorry about that. And now I have to sleep on 3 chairs again if I go back to the shelter because the people hired by these service providers Are they on the same page with the government, with the principles set by these service providers? No, they are not. They do whatever they see fit. Sometimes that equals to whatever they feel like it. I can still go in there late, even I sign up for a late play, I still get no food. Now, don't even say they can still take my beds. Don't even say there are other situations people have encountered, not just me. So, for the programming part of it, please understand, it's no less damaging and hurting our people in Cuyahoga County. Please help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Liu.
That concludes the public comment portion for today's meeting.
All right. At this time, can we have a motion to approve our minutes as presented on today's agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor of approving our minutes, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, we will entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Jack Strawn from today's meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, we are going to turn, under our announcements from the council president, I am going to turn the mic over to Councilmember Meredith Turner, who will present a proclamation to the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement, better known as NOBLE, Law Enforcement Executives, again, better known as NOBLE.
Thank you, Mr. President. This evening, I have the distinct pleasure in honoring the Greater Cleveland chapter of the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives, better known as NOBLE, in recognition of Black History Month. NOBLE works every day to ensure equity in the administration of justice and public service to all communities. Black police chiefs lead 11 different municipalities and community organizations, including the Cleveland Division of Police, Cleveland RTA, CMSD, and many more. The Greater Cleveland chapter of NOBLE serves as an example of professionalism, integrity, and commitment to advancing the interests of African American law enforcement professionals and promoting diversity and inclusion within law enforcement. I present representatives of NOBLE here with us today this proclamation commending them for their dedicated service to our community. But before I present the proclamation, would you please rise and come forward, give us your name, your position, and the organization that you represent. Thank you. And we'll start with the president of NOBLE, Greater Cleveland Chapter.
Thank you. Victor McDowell, Jr., Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority Police Department.
Captain Ernest Williams, City of Cleveland Heights Police Department.
Thomas McMillan, past president, Cuyahoga Community College Campus Police Security Services.
John Cole, Shaker Heights Police Department, Commander.
Lakeisha Harris, Cleveland Division of Police, Patrol Officer.
Anthony Jackson, retired police chief, Cuyahoga Metropolitan Housing Authority.
Tim Grafton, Shaker Heights Police, Lieutenant.
Patrol Officer Logan Pope, CMHA Police Department.
Good evening. Wayne Hudson, First Vice President of NOBLE and the proud Police Chief of the Shaker Heights Police Department.
Daryl Johnson, retired Deputy Superintendent from the Bureau of Criminal Investigation and a NOBLE parliamentarian.
Good evening. Cliff Pinckney, retired Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Office.
Thank you. So again, I want to thank the Council President and Vice President Stevens for allowing me this moment in recognition of Black History Month. And as I go down to present this proclamation, I would invite any of my colleagues who wish to join me to come on, as well as the county executive.
Do is just turn around.
I just walked back in. Hey, how are you? Good to see you. Let me walk around and hug you.
Right, right. That's what I was thinking. We're kind of prepped for this anyways. Exactly. Good. No. Captain.
At this time, we will have messages from our county executive.
Thank you, Council President, members of council, and as they're leaving, I just want to echo my congratulations and thanks, appreciation for the Noble Group. I know former Sheriff Pinckney heard that at least. And thank you, Councilwoman Turner. Just a few quick messages for all. I wanted to remind that we were able to open the Cuyahoga County Welcoming Center on February 14th. Very excited about already the traffic that's come through, persons from all over the world finding their way through to Cuyahoga County, and our staff helping with services, and some of the council staff was there as well, and many members of council helped open that. But it is exciting for us to continue to welcome the world to Cuyahoga County. There's 140 different ethnic communities here in our county, and that's the statistic from Global Cleveland, and we just are glad to be able to welcome all. So thanks for the support in helping open the first Cuyahoga County Welcoming Center at our old Brooklyn, Memphis, and Fulton office. Secondly, just wanted to mention today is the anniversary of inventor pioneer Garrett Morgan's patent application for the three-way traffic signal that has saved countless lives, which he received the next year. Yesterday, we joined his granddaughter, Sandra Morgan, who was in town for the day, and we did it in advance of the birthday, March 4th, because she was here, and she could join us at Garrett Morgan High School. Again, appreciate members of council. I think Councilwoman Turner, you were there, and others, thank you for being with us and the staff. It meant a lot to Sandra Morgan to officially declare March 4th Garrett Morgan Day. That will be his birthday, his 147th birthday. Meant a lot to the students who are at Garrett Morgan High School campus as we literally put forth a proclamation in front of the students and their administrators in front of the site where Mr. Morgan saved lives. He's done it with the traffic signal and continues to save thousands of lives annually, but he did it back in the early part of the 20th century by way of the safety hood that he invented. Was called to the rescue of tunnel workers that were trapped in the mines beneath the bedrock of Lake Erie, and he and his brother were called into the night by police officers who needed his assistance and his know-how. And I thought it was a fitting place to present Senator Morgan with a proclamation and declare March 4th his birthday, Garrett Morgan Day. Yes, it's Black History Month. Every month is. And I think we just have finally started to pay our debt of gratitude to Garrett Morgan for his pioneering inventions that continue to save lives and went on to save many lives in the First World War with that product. So I want to say kudos and thank you to the Morgan family for keeping the story alive. And they were honored last year, at the end of last year, by the U.S. DOT for his invention of the three-way traffic signal, which again was patented. The patent application came today. Last two things I want to mention. Harvest for Hunger was kicked off today at the Food Bank of Greater Cleveland. We all know the importance. It's been a 33-year campaign. Hunger continues sadly to grow in our community. 1 in 5 families are food insecure. And our efforts to help support the campaign, with $5, you can support 15 meals, and encourage everybody to go online at the Food Bank's Harvest for Hunger campaign donation site and perhaps make a contribution. But we continue to see good things happening at the food bank, and they welcomed us in a few Saturdays ago with a production site for on off hours HHS levy signs, which I want to finally say early voting has begun. March 19th is voting day. Remember issue 26, it's on the ballot, and as you early vote, we thank you for your consideration. Thanks, Council President, members of council.
Legislation introduced by council. Consideration of resolutions of council for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2024-0075, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Collective Arts Network for the CAN Journal and Newsletter Project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2024-0076, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to Shelter the People Cleveland for the Building Capacity for Change Project from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2024-0077, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the Catholic Charities Corporation for capacity building development for the Catholic Charities St. Martin de Porres Family Center from the District 7 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2024-0078, awarding a total sum not to exceed $5,000 to Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority, Inc. for the Drain Keepers Project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2024-0079, authorizing a pre-development economic development recoverable grant in an amount not to exceed $450,000 to Blue Abyss Operations, Inc. for the Blue Abyss project located on 12 acres on Aerospace Parkway in the city of Brook Park for the purpose of constructing the main astronaut and deep water training facility, a hotel, planetarium, and a long arm centrifuge building totaling approximately 300,000 square feet.
This item will be referred to the Economic Development and Planning Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions of council for second reading.
Resolution 2024-0035, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Bessie's Angels for the purpose of funding the Bessie's Angels project from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
This item will move to the March 12, 2024 council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0048, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Crossroads Health doing business as New Directions for the purpose of the New Directions Summer Education Program from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
All right, we have a proposed substitute to be introduced, and I will turn the floor over to Mr. King.
Thank you, Council President. Michael King, Council staff. This is a very simple proposed substitute here before you today. It simply adds $10,000 to the grant award from the District 8 Community Grant Fund, bringing the total amount of the award to $20,000.
We will entertain a motion to accept the proposed substitute.
Move to accept.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. This proposed substitute I am introducing because Councilwoman Simon has brought forward, and again, just an incredible project. that helps our children. We all know how passionate I've been about closing the achievement gap. But I'm supporting this because closing the achievement gap is not a program. It is an initiative. There are best practices that are built in, and that any institution or entity that adopts those practices in helping our children to succeed and not simply 9th and 12th, that's where we have targeted in recent years, but help our children succeed, then you are closing the achievement gap. And New Directions is doing just that. They're helping our children, pouring into our children, helping them to be successful. So because of that, this is a project I deeply support and stand by, and I thank Councilwoman Simon for bringing it forward. And I will turn it over to the Councilwoman for her comments.
Well, thank you so much, Council President. I really appreciate it. When you heard what this program does for young people in recovery specifically, it really is so impactful to see that so many people in recovery, young adults who can't complete school or drop out, this is an opportunity for them to get right back into their education and a path back into a really fulfilling life. So thank you very much, President.
Welcome. Thank you. At this time, all those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. At this time, this item will move to the March 12th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0049, adopting various changes to the Cuyahoga County non-bargaining classification plan.
This item will move to the March 12th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Consideration of resolutions of council for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2023-0352, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the City of South Euclid for Year 3 of the South Euclid Deer Sterilization Program from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you, colleagues. This is year 3 of a deer sterilization program, as it states. What's significant about this is communities have been grappling with how to manage the deer overpopulation, which is particularly relevant in entering suburbs. And what this pilot does, it provides a pathway into a humane way to control the deer population, but also more effectively. Because what we're learning is the way that ODNR has been handling this is they really can't get into densely populated neighborhoods where people live to go and start shooting around their backyards. So this is something that's unique, and ODNR's on board to really support this. Is an opportunity for communities to really do this humanely and really impactfully. You can see that over the years, many communities have spent millions of dollars trying to solve this issue, and it's just really not working. But we'll see the results of this coming up, and I appreciate everybody's support.
All right. It has been properly moved and seconded. If there's no further discussion, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0003, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to the National Organization of Black Law Enforcement Executives of Greater Cleveland Chapter for the Teen Summit and Cut with a Cop program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. I'm going to turn this over to the sponsor of the legislation.
Sure, thank you, Councilwoman. So these were the amazing law enforcement executives that we honored here tonight. Teen Summit, City of Shaker Heights, I believe, Cup with a Cop. I think they may have changed the name of the program, but I can't think of a better program to sponsor our youth need mentors. And what better mentor than a police officer? So I ask for my colleagues' support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0005, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Black Child Development Institute, Ohio, for the trauma-informed curriculum which privileges the unique strengths and needs of Black children from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
I will turn this over to the sponsor, my colleague.
Thank you again. This was heard in the Education, Environment, Sustainability Committee, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Resolution 2024-0006, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Linking Partnerships Opportunities Foundation, Inc., for the purpose of Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Pack Program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This matter was heard in committee, and I'll turn it over to the sponsor.
Thank you again. I think we already heard about the need to support it, or rather to eradicate childhood hunger or hunger for all people. So I ask for my colleagues' support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0007, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to the Alpha Omega Foundation for the Childhood Hunger Initiative Power Pack Program from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
So this matter also regarding hunger initiative was heard in committee. I turn it over to the sponsor.
Again, I just applaud organizations like this who use their resources and platform to try to help the county solve a shared problem. I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0008, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to the Gamma Alpha Sigma Education Foundation for the purpose of providing a college tour historically black colleges and universities in the Atlanta, Georgia area from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
We heard this in our education committee, and I'll turn it over to the sponsor.
Again, as this month of Black History celebration is ending, I've been very thoughtful to try to support organizations who address the needs of the African American community. We can't just keep talking about these problems, but we have to put resources in place as well. So as these young people embark on a college trip, historically black colleges and universities, we look to support them in their educational endeavors, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0009, awarding a total sum not to exceed $20,000 to Impact Youth, Inc. for operating support from the District 9 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. I'll turn it over to the sponsor.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to support Impact Youth's desire to help build not just character in our young people, but to introduce them to leadership development through sports. It was how I earned my way through college. I played basketball, volleyball, through the shot put and the discus. And if it were not for the athletic scholarship that I received, I'm not sure how I would have gotten a college education. So it is an honor to support programs like this who invest in our youth, and I ask for my colleagues' support.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0032, awarding a total sum not to exceed $50,000 to the Catholic Charities Corporation for the purpose of the Migration and Refugee Service Immigration and Legal Services Program from the District 3 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this was heard in committee, and I'll soon turn this over to Mr. Sweeney. It was his request. There was concern, and it was testified to, that these funds will be restricted to those that enter the United States of America in the legal way. So there's no confusion on that. Mr. Sweeney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. To my colleagues, this was thoroughly reviewed, and I appreciate the Safety Committee's discussion on it, and I ask my colleagues to support it. Thank you.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0033, awarding a total sum not to exceed $200,000 to the Village of Newburgh Heights for the purpose of the Enhanced Home Maintenance Grant Program from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt. Again, Mr. President, this was heard in committee. Recommendation was adoption, and I'll turn this over to you.
All right, thank you. So I was approached by Mayor Trevor Elkins with this need, this critical need in the city of Newburgh Heights, the village of Newburgh Heights, to again help maintain our housing stock in this village. It is important, and again, just greatly needed within the community. I think our home is probably the greatest investment most of us have ever make. So our ability to partner with the community and help protect the housing stock is going to be vital and a huge help to this community. So I ask for my colleagues' support. At this time, all those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0034, awarding a total sum not to exceed $200,000 to the Village of Newburgh Heights for the purpose of funding safety forces from the District 8 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt. Again, Mr. President, this was heard in committee. Recommendation was adoption, and I'll turn this to you.
All right. Again, these dollars are going to the safety forces in Newburgh Heights. And this is just another example of a community that is just going to be a great place to live, work, and play, a safe community, a well-maintained community, and just a great place to live. So again, I ask for my colleagues' support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0036, awarding a total sum not to exceed $10,000 to Pet Fix Northeast Ohio, Inc. for the purpose of the clinic roof replacement project from the District 11 ARPA Community Grant Fund.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. This matter was heard in the Education Environment Committee. Pet Fix Northeast Ohio is a low-cost spay-neuter clinic in the city of Euclid, which provides a lot of care and supplemental financing for people to get their pets fixed who otherwise couldn't do it. It's a low-cost clinic. There's only a few of these in our county, and there's just not even enough to go around. So I ask for your support to help this project, the roof project.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0037, authorizing an amendment to a grant agreement with College Now Greater Cleveland for the administration and management of debt repayment scholarships and completion scholarships to eligible post-secondary students in connection with the Cuyahoga County Completion Scholarship Program for the period September 15, 2022 through September 14, 2024, to add private four-year institutions in the state of Ohio as eligible institutions.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Thank you. This matter was heard in the Education Committee, and just as a background quickly, Executive Budish and I sponsored these two educational components to our educational council's educational program. One, it helps students pay debt who are stuck without the ability to pay their student loans or their college debts if they have to leave college for any reason. Also, the completion scholarship helps students on their end of their whole tenure in college and allows them to finish. So these two programs were initially intended for and council passed for public institutions. What we found, they're struggling students who need this relief as well. So I ask for your support to move this not only from public institutions but to private. But I want to remind everybody the state of Ohio is the worst state for debt. So if a student had to leave college or university during COVID, they dropped out because they were sick or a family member was sick, they could not pay their debt at that time. They're excluded from ever going back or getting their transcripts. They're stuck and their student loans come due. So this is really a trap that's unique to Ohio. This enables them to get their debts paid to their institutions, get back in school, get their transcripts and move on. So this is the best we can do at the county level to help students through their education.
Okay.
Sorry for the long rambling, but it's a pretty significant program.
It is, and I'm going to take a moment. I'm going to ramble along with you just for a moment because this is important, and we're doing what we can at our level. As you've already said, a student who has $2,000 of debt somewhere else can have it paid, and they can attend Tri-C, Cleveland State, or but those are things we can do at this level. I'll take a privilege at this moment and just say that this is the educational debt across this country is a legislative problem. It is nothing else. It is a legislative problem. There was a law back when Bill Clinton was president, the education bill, and it said student loan debt cannot be discharged through bankruptcy. When that law was added, no one could discharge a student loan debt. Banks then said, well, we can lend a student as much money as we want because they'll pay it back if it takes them the rest of their life. And that's literally what happened since 1998 in that education bill. So what has happened since then, our school systems have seen the capacity of the students. It has grown, and so have their expenses, their bills to the students. Our student school debt has grown over the years, or what they charge has grown over the years because of the capacity of the students. And now a student now finishes their higher education and they're saddled with $100,000, $200,000, $250,000 of debt, and they're suffering in silence because they think it's just them, but it's not. It is the system and not the student that as a result of what has happened. So the solution ultimately is to go back into the education bill and delete that line that says student loan debt cannot be discharged through bankruptcy. So every student can run to their local bankruptcy lawyer, pay a couple $100, and have the debt discharged. And then things would begin to realign. The banks would not give out money if that line item is not there. The school systems will realign from all the gravy they've made for years. And that is the ultimate solution, not to pay off one person's debt, because in November, the fall of this year, the next student's going to come in and have to pay $250,000 in debt. So the solution is legislative, just as the problem was a legislative problem. Remove that. That's what we need at our federal level, for our federal leadership to delete that law, just like we do it. We do it all the time here at local levels. We change laws all the time to make opportunity for the residents. We need the state, the federal government to do the same. Delete that education line.
Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate that. And this is institutional debt. And that comes up if somebody drops out, their student loans stop, and they don't have the means to pay the college. And they're excluded from ever going anywhere until that's paid. It's just it's really egregious. So you're right, we could do something at this level.
And the educational leaders at the national level have said this is not sustainable. So there will come a day when the piper will be paid for what is happening now. So we will continue to work and advocate. Okay? All right. Yes.
Can I ask Councilwoman Simon, is it just 4 years, not a 2-year institution like Tri-C?
No, it's any institute, as long as the college in Tri-C's on board, will work with us. Okay. Yep.
All right, if there are no further comments, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. At this time, legislation introduced by executive. Consideration of resolutions for first reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor of suspending the rules, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0080, amending the 2024-2025 biennial operating budget for 2024 by providing for additional fiscal appropriations, appropriation transfers, and cash transfers.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and colleagues, this is the regular fiscal agenda of budget amendments. The answers to our questions to OBM are on your desks. Most items are routine appropriations of grants and transfers within accounts. The following items are notable. $425,000 appropriated for temporary shelter at 2710 Walton Avenue to house up to 104 homeless women during the renovations at Norma Herr. And $6,373,424 for purchases for our vehicle fleet, including $4,103,643 for sanitary engineering, $1,458,213 for road and bridge, and $811,467 for vehicle ordered in prior years but not yet delivered, and $4.5 million for previously approved economic development loans, including $2 million for the Cleveland Renaissance Hotel, $500,000 for Central Villa 25, $1.5 million for small business support, and $500,000 for Euclid Circle. I recommend passage on first reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0081, approving a proposed settlement in the matter of Martin Robinson versus Cuyahoga County et al., United States District Court for the Northern District of Ohio, Eastern Division, case number 122 CV 961.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This item was previously discussed in executive session, and I ask for my colleagues' support. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Consideration of resolutions for first reading and referral to committee.
Resolution 2024-0082, making an award on requisition 13736 to Katz Construction, Inc., in the amount not to exceed $1,998,321.23 for the resurfacing of Forbes Road from Fair Oaks Road to Richmond Road in the cities of Bedford, Bedford Heights, and the Village of Oakwood, in connection with the 2021-2024 Transportation Improvement Program.
This item will be referred to the Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee.
Resolution 2024-0083, authorizing a grant agreement with State of Ohio Department of Development in the amount not to exceed $8,057,000 to serve as fiscal agent for various lead renovation, abatement, and mitigation services in connection with the fiscal year 2023 Lead Safe Ohio program for the period December 1st, 2023 through April 30th, 2026, and recommending awards to various political subdivisions and providers in the total amount not to exceed $8,057,000 for various projects or programs in connection with the fiscal year 2023 Lead Safe Ohio program for the period March 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2025 for the items A through D.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2024-0084, making awards to various municipalities in the total amount of $2,223,000 for various projects or programs in connection with the fiscal year 2024 Community Development Block Grant Program for the period March 12th, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, items A through P.
This item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2024-0085, making awards to various municipalities and agencies in the total amount of $1,438,828 for various projects or programs in connection with fiscal year 2024 Community Development Supplemental Grant Program for the period March 12th, 2024 through February 28th, 2025, items A through double D.
At this time, we will introduce a proposed substitute, and Ms. Mason, you have the floor.
Thank you, Council President. Council members, this proposed substitute is here to replace the existing legislation by increasing the Community Development Supplemental Grant Program by adding an additional $250,000 and adding 5 additional projects onto the substitute.
All right.
Mr. President?
Yes.
This was done at my request. I want to thank the county exec for allowing his staff to support me on a whimsical mission to, for those of you who know me, you know I'm a numbers nerd, and I sensed through my favorite calculator, that there were funds that were unexpended in this pool of funding, and that it was restricted. And once staff got a chance to take a look at some of the prior year commitments, they found a significant dollar amount that was committed but unused. And so we are able today to fund some communities that didn't have a shot at it previously. So the Village of Bracknell, one of my communities, but in addition to one of my communities, we were able to help out in District 9 with Shaker Heights, and in Bedford, and in Olmsted Township and in Olmsted Falls by finding funds that hadn't been used. In some cases, it was some communities and or nonprofits that didn't use 100% of their money. So there was $5,000 here, $10,000 there, and then some folks who didn't use any of their funds at all. And so on behalf of all of us, I think that there are occasions when we need to make sure that we are maximizing our use of funds. And I want to specifically thank the housing director for allowing me to make her go back and look at some of the funds and make sure that some of our communities could move forward on some basic services to their residents. I'd like.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
I just have a comment.
Yo, yes.
Thank you. I appreciate my colleague, Vice President Stevens, who brought this forward. It came to my attention as well that some of the money was going to nonprofits instead of to the communities, the cities. And when we developed this program, CDSG, I think what our intent was that really this was uniquely for our cities that really have no opportunity to have flexibility on grant writing or they don't have really other sources of income unlike nonprofits. So I think it's really important that as council, we look at this again, because unless, Councilwoman Stevens or I, if we didn't explore this, some of the cities would have been left out with money sitting there. And I think we need to really hone this in and say, what happens to this money? I thought we already had that done. So I was surprised actually to see that money was sitting there and communities were left out. So I think I'm going to ask the chair of community redevelopment to bring this forward so we can look at this legislation and get back to its original intent.
All right, any further discussion? If not, Councilwoman Stevens has already made the motion that will accept the proposed substitute with its amendments, and a second has been given. Again, if no further discussion, all those in favor of accepting the proposed substitute say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. And the item will be referred to the Community Development Committee.
Resolution 2024-0086, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Applewood Centers, Inc. for secure residential treatment services for the period January 1st, 2018 through June 30th, 2024, to change the terms effective upon contract signature of all parties and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $1,941,245.20.
This item will be referred to the Public Safety and Justice Affairs Committee. That was my fault, Councilwoman, for delay. All right. Let me take the hit on that one.
Resolution 2024-0087, authorizing Title 4D cooperative agreements with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $11,473,857.03 for child support services for the period January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2024, items A through D.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee.
Resolution 2024-0088, authorizing an amendment to a contract with Young Women's Christian Association of Greater Cleveland, Ohio, doing business as YWCA Greater Cleveland, for operation and case management services at the Norma Herr Women's Shelter for the period January 1st, 2023 through December 31st, 2023, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2024, to change the terms effective January 1st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $2,536,793.
This item will be referred to the Health, Human Services, and Aging Committee. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading.
Resolution 2024-0067, declaring that public convenience and welfare requires the resurfacing of Warrensville Center Road from Fairmount Boulevard to Mayfield Road in the cities of University Heights and South Euclid. Total estimated project cost $7,500,000.
This item will move to the March 12th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption.
Resolution 2024-0069, authorizing an amendment to a contract with the Near West Side Multi-Service Corporation, doing business as May Dugan Center, for lease of office space located at 4115 Bridge Avenue in Cleveland for use by the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas Adult Probation Department for the period August 1st, 2020 through July 31st, 2025, to extend the time period to July 31st, 2030, to change the terms and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $177,000.
This item will move to the March 12th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. Committee reports and consideration of resolutions for second reading adoption under suspension of rules. Can I have a motion to suspend the rules?
Mr. President, I move to suspend the rules.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0051, confirming the county executive's appointment of Ronnie J. Cannon to serve on the Cuyahoga County Citizens Advisory Council on Equity for the term July 15th, 2023 through July 14th, 2026.
Move to adopt. In 2012, council created the Citizens Advisory Council on Equity to oversee and report on equity efforts undertaken by the county and in the delivery of county services, as well as the collection of relevant data and issuance of an annual equity report. The appointment of Mr. Ronnie J. Cannon was presented to the HR Committee on February 20th by Zoe Toscas. Mr. Cannon was present, addressed the committee, and answered questions. Mr. Cannon currently serves as a community engagement manager for Towards Employment, and the committee voted to recommend passage of this resolution. I urge my colleagues to support this item.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0055, confirming the county executive's appointment of Christina Bozalowski Brown to serve on the Cuyahoga County Advisory Board on Senior and Adult Services for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt. This item and the next three resolutions are appointments to the Cuyahoga County Advisory Board on Senior and Adult Services. The purpose of the board is to advise the county administration and the DSAS director on senior and adult services and policy areas. The appointment of Ms. Christina, how do we say this again?
Bozalowski Brown.
Slowowski Brown was present, addressed the committee, and answered questions. She currently works at the Adams Board as a client rights officer. The committee voted to recommend passage of this appointment, and I urge my colleagues to support this item.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The resolution is adopted.
Council President, Rule 9C for the reading of very similar items by abbreviated titles allows for this to be read abbreviated. So therefore, items 3 through 5 will be read into the record by abbreviated titles if there's no objections.
No objection.
Okay. Resolution 2024-0058, confirming the county executive's reappointment of the Honorable Mayor Kim Thomas for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt. Second. This item, just like the last one, is an appointment to the advisory board for DSAS. The appointment of the Honorable Kim Thomas was presented to the HR committee on February 20th by Zoe Toscas. Ms. Thomas was present, addressed the committee, and answered questions. As you know, Kim Thomas serves as the mayor of Richmond Heights. The committee voted to recommend passage of this appointment, and I urge my colleagues to support this item.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Ms. Conwell, can we make sure that your microphone is on so that we can hear your vote? Thank you. Resolution 2024-0064, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Douglas Bennett for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt. Second. This item was presented to the HR committee on February 20th. Mr. Bennett was present, addressed the committee, and answered questions. Mr. Bennett is currently a vice president of community services and external affairs for Step Forward, The committee voted to recommend passage of this appointment, and I urge my colleagues to support this appointment.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0065, confirming the county executive's reappointment of Janet Keeler, Ph.D., for the term January 1st, 2024 through December 31st, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
This resolution is the final appointment this evening to the DSAS Advisory Board. The appointment of Dr. Janet Keeler was presented to the HR Committee on February 20th. She was present, she addressed the committee and answered questions. Dr. Keeler currently works at the Cuyahoga County Board of Developmental Disabilities. The committee voted to recommend passage of this appointment, and I urge my colleagues to support this resolution.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0068, approving right-of-way exhibits as set forth in plat number M5054 for replacement of various Rockside Road bridges, number 03.23, in the City of Independence, and bridge number 3.32 over the Cuyahoga River in the City of Independence and the Village of Valley View.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, Nicole English presented this resolution in the Public Works Committee on February 21st. The resolution approves right-of-way exhibits for the replacement of various Rockside Road bridges in Independence as well as Valley View. This action will allow Public Works to start acquisition of the property required so the construction can take place next year. Most of the property acquisitions will be temporary only. In order to keep this project on schedule, Public Works Committee unanimously recommended passage on second reading suspension.
All right, Councilman. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0070, making awards on requisition 13201 for a master contract with various providers in the total amount not to exceed $1,554,000 for various vehicle repair, parts, equipment, and services for the Fleet Division for the period March 1st, 2024 through February 28th, 2026.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, Nicole English also presented this resolution in Public Works Committee on February 21st. The resolution approves a 2-year master contract not to exceed $1,554,000 with 17 vendors of various kinds of vehicle parts and repair services. Passage of the contract will enable Public Works to have ready access to vehicle parts and repairs when needed. Because this contract has a March 1st start date, the Public Works Committee unanimously recommended passage on second reading suspension.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0071, authorizing an amendment to various contracts with Manatron, Inc., doing business as Aumentum Technologies, for support and maintenance services for various Manatron systems for the period January 1st, 2022 through December 31st, 2023, to extend the time period to December 31st, 2025, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $1,537,986.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, my colleagues, this resolution approves two-year contracts with Manatron totaling $1,537,986 for maintenance of our real property tax systems. The Finance and Budgeting Committee unanimously recommended passage on second reading suspension.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0072, authorizing an amendment to a contract with WB Mason Co., Inc. for general office supplies and related services for the period April 1st, 2021 through March 31st, 2024, to extend the time period to March 31st, 2025, to change the terms effective April 1st, 2024, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $550,000.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President and colleagues, this resolution approves a 1-year contract with WB Mason not to exceed $550,000 for office supplies. We benefited from fixed prices during the first 3 years of this contract. but the contract extension includes inflationary increases of about 37% for paper products and 15% for non-paper products. The contract provides quoted prices for about 600 products and also allows us to buy lower-priced store brands and to buy products not among the 600 products for 45% off list price. I recommend passage on second reading suspension.
All right, thank you, Councilman. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0073, authorizing an amendment to a master contract with various providers for trauma-informed respite and youth care center services for the period September 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2023, to extend the time period to June 30th, 2024, to change the terms effective July 1st, 2023, and for additional funds in the total amount not to exceed $510,293.94, items A through C.
Move to adopt. Mr. President, this was heard in committee. Our friends from the juvenile court testified, and these are for services for the youth that they do serve that have unfortunately gone through some of the worst that some of us can't even imagine. So these are necessary funds and programs. Recommendation is suspension and adoption.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Resolution 2024-0074, authorizing an amendment to a contract with AmeriCab Transportation, Inc. for non-emergency transportation services for ambulatory Medicaid-eligible individuals in Cuyahoga County for the period March 1st, 2021 through February 29th, 2024, to extend the time period to February 28th, 2025, and for additional funds in the amount not to exceed $4 million.
Move to adopt.
Second.
Mr. President, this is a needed service for individuals who reside in the county. This was thoroughly discussed in committee on Wednesday, February 21st. This contract is 100% funded by the federal Medicaid funds, so I ask for my colleagues' support.
All right, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the resolution is adopted. Committee report and consideration of an ordinance for second reading.
Ordinance 2024-0001, providing for the adoption of a modified Section 6.12 of the Cuyahoga County's Employee Handbook.
This item will move to the March 12th council agenda for consideration for third reading adoption. At this time, we will entertain miscellaneous committee reports.
Mr. President.
Councilman Miller.
Thank you. Finance and Budgeting Committee will meet at our next regular time this coming Monday, March 4th at 1 p.m. to review the year-end report on the county's actual expenditures for 2023. Director Parfiowicz sent the report to all council members yesterday afternoon, so you have ample time to review the report and formulate questions for Monday's meeting. Thank you.
Mr. President, safety Tuesday, 1 o'clock.
Okay.
President, Health and Human Services and Aging on Wednesday at 1 o'clock.
HR Tuesday, 10 a.m.
Environment Education, Wednesday at 3, the 6th, to get a presentation, to receive a presentation on the Department of Sustainability changes, as well as our Cleveland Water Alliance water attraction contract, and an update on that.
Will there be any community development meetings?
We'll have to discuss my schedule.
Okay, all right. Any other reports?
Also, Ms. Stevens, you have a CRAS meeting that's going to take place tomorrow at 2 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, if there are no further committee reports, is there any miscellaneous business? If not, if nothing else holds our attention, our meeting is now adjourned.